Hi, I'm Matt Jamieson. I'm President and CEO of the Six Nations Development Corporation. The Six Nations Development Corporation is essentially the economic arm of the Six Nations of the Grand River community. Our mission and vision is to achieve economic self-sufficiency without compromising our values as Indigenous people. The Six Nations Development Corporation is organized with really two downstream structures, one of them being our Nation Enterprise businesses, which are businesses that are located on reserve that are managed by the Six Nations Development Corporation. Six Nations Bingo, Chiefswood Park, Gathering Place by the Grand, and the United Business Park. One significant thing about the United Business Park that many don't see is the fact that the roof hosts a 500 kilowatt solar installation. That solar installation has generated wealth for the community and will continue to generate wealth for the next 15 years. We're quite proud of A6N also, which is now located at the United Business Park as their new headquarters.
My name's Dave Johnson. I worked for A6N for approximately 6 years. And we perform civil work, any kind of ground disturbance, hydrovacking. Probably the biggest increase in business was to go into the forestry business. A lot of clients ask for A6N guys to come back. Hey, we want you guys to come back. You guys are top shelf. You're the ones we want on our site.
A6N, I think, has become a model for what's possible with corporate Canada partnering with an Indigenous community. The other downstream structure of the Six Nations Development Corporation is what we call our economic interests, really our investments outside of the community. Early in 2010, 2012, there was the emergence of renewable energy opportunities in the region. We quickly identified those as something that aligned with our values as Indigenous people: greenhouse gas reductions, a sustainable, clean energy solution. And so our economic interests are composed now of wind farms, solar farms, and energy storage assets, as well as the Niagara Reinforcement Transmission Line. A great example of the evolution of learning for us is the United Energy Storage Project. I think it speaks to our leadership as an innovator and an energy champion in the province of Ontario. And it's those types of things that we're going to continue to do moving forward that's going to get our fingerprints, our DNA on some of these projects to help influence what really is possible when there is Indigenous leadership at the forefront of an idea. We have a new 15-year management agreement with the Six Nations Council. 50% of our surplus free cash flow on an annual basis gets transferred to the Economic Development Trust. 80% of those proceeds go back to Council for use in investments back in the community tied to our long-term community plan. Roads, water, infrastructure, things that are going to enable opportunity for our next generation. And as a result, the Economic Development Trust has gone on and contributed over $25 million back to those community priorities, which I think is significant. Those are investments that otherwise probably would never have been funded by the federal or provincial governments. And then 20% of that transfer to the Economic Development Trust goes to grassroots organization, things that there may not be funding mechanisms for in the market.
We've had a tremendous impact with this financial support. I'm Ellie Joseph, and I'm from Six Nations of the Grand River Territory. The organization I'm with is Turo on the Grand, which is a grassroots and totally volunteer organization. For the community members themselves, they take away something that you can't put a price on. You can't put a price on community pride. Can't put a price on that, but Economic Development Trust Fund has supported that in ways that they don't even know.
As I look forward to the next 10 years, I'm very optimistic and enthusiastic about what's possible. If I look back at the success we've been able to achieve in the last 10, I think it's been tremendous. Since inception, having generated $295 million of economic impact, it makes me tremendously proud. The thing is not all about profit in the things that we do. It's about creating that economic impact through job creation and other social impacts in the community. If I can predict 10 years into the future, I envision Six Nations Development Corporation to be a $1 billion company that's generating that $100 million a year Prosperity 100 goal. I see tremendous opportunity. I see this company continuing to be bold and pursue opportunity, and I'm really excited about what's possible.